No-shows are the bane of existence for outbound sales reps, right? You do all this work identifying a prospect, getting a message to resonate with them, and then getting them to accept a meeting invite, right, or a time to chat, and then they no-show or they ghost you, and your sales team never gets the opportunity to actually present how they can help that prospect, right? All that hard work goes down the drain. But there is a simple 5-step process that you can put in place in your business to make sure that 85% plus of the demos that you're setting via outbound show up to the meeting, right? And I'm going to take you through what that is right now. So step 1, the biggest issue that we see when diagnosing, no-shows is that there wasn't the appropriate level of importance put on the meeting, right? So quite often what can happen is that the meeting will be positioned as something of like the prospect is doing a favor to the rep by attending, right? Or that it's kind of optional to attend. There's no kind of firm commitment there. What reps need to understand is that executives are employed by their company to do one of two things, right? Or two things simultaneously. That is, solve problems that currently exist in the business and prevent foreseeable problems from occurring in the future. That's it. So if you've correctly identified a problem that exists or may exist in the future for the prospect, your sales process or your prospecting should be focused around how you stop that from happening. And if you've presented that appropriately, then the demo or the sales conversation that you're scheduling is going to be important for the prospect, right? It's going to add value to what they do every day in their job. So you need to set that level of importance and expectation around that meeting, right? There's going to be something of value that the prospect is going to get. They're not doing a favor by attending. They're going to get something of value out of it, right? It needs to be set up with that level of expectation from the beginning, right? So that's step 1. Set the appropriate level of importance around the meeting that they've agreed to. The second step is to get the prospect to accept the invite within 24 hours of it being sent. Now, ideally, this takes place on the call. If you're scheduling the meeting over the phone, you will send the invite through and get the prospect to accept it immediately, right? Click attend, click yes, click accept, whatever version of software you're using, right? But you want them to accept the meeting invite within 24 hours. If they can't accept it on the phone, then you'll want to follow up to make sure that the meeting has been accepted within 24 hours. Okay? So get that acceptance within 24 hours. The second thing that you do when you're on that call, or when you're in the email exchange or LinkedIn exchange that you're using to schedule that meeting, so within that first conversation, is to outline the confirmation process that you'll follow prior to the demo. So explain to them what you're going to do over the next few days or weeks in the lead up to that meeting, right? So that could be something like, okay, great, John, I'm going to send you this invite now. If you can accept it, that'd be perfect. If they can't accept it now, then it'll be, okay, John, look, I'm going to send that invite through to you now. And if I see that it hasn't been accepted tomorrow, I'll follow up with you again just to make sure you've received it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to touch base with you the day before the meeting and just make sure that we're still on track for that. Does that sound good to you? Right, now we've got buy-in from the prospect. They know that we're going to follow up either tomorrow, right, or the day before the meeting to make sure that they're still able to attend. Okay, and then the final step of the process, the next step of the process is to get the account executive to introduce themselves 48 hours prior to the meeting, right? So the person that's actually meeting with the prospect needs to introduce themselves. Now, this should just be a simple email that includes an agenda for the call, and you'll get bonus points here if you include a video introduction explaining the agenda, right? So using Vidyard or Loom, drop that into the email from the account executive, introducing themselves and the agenda or the purpose for the call, right? That takes place 48 hours prior to the meeting. And then the final step of the process is for the rep to reconfirm the meeting 24 hours before it's due to take place. Okay, and again, that communication should be very assumptive in the way that the meeting's positioned, right? So it should be, you've agreed to this, Just a reminder that the meeting is tomorrow at 11 o'clock. If we, let me know if we need to push this an hour or two. Otherwise, we're looking forward to speaking to you tomorrow. Okay? So that's the process. So establish the appropriate level of importance on the meeting. Get the meeting accepted within 24 hours. Outline the confirmation process that you're going to take. Get the account executive to introduce themselves 48 hours prior, and then reconfirm the meeting 24 hours prior. If you follow those steps, you'll get an 85% plus show rate through your outbound meetings set. And then in this article below, there's a little bonus point on how you follow up no-shows to get them to reattend if you're interested in looking at that.